It is truly a miracle when you examine the Prophet's life, period of 23 years, how this man transformed that society and left an everlasting impact on humanity. فَلَا خَبَرٌ جَاءَ وَلَا وَحْيٌ نَزَلَ. There was no revelation, it's all a game. Who's saying this? Yazid son of Muawiyah. It is truly a miracle when you examine the Prophet's life within such a short period of time, in a period of 23 years, how this man transformed that society and left an everlasting impact on humanity. This great man, however, the greatest man God has ever created, historically has been oppressed until this very day. By who? Is it the non-Muslims? Is it the Christians, the Jews, the Hindus? Who is it? The Muslims. The Muslims are the most people who have committed acts of injustice against the name of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And this is not something recent that we see in our modern time. This existed right after the Prophet, even in his own life, yes, but especially after his life. Those rulers who came after the Prophet, especially the Umayyad dynasty. You know, when we talk about Islamophobia and these attacks on the religion of Islam and the name of the Prophet, the Umayyads started it, not these Western countries. Long before there was a West and there was Western civilization, there was so-called Muslims who defamed the Prophet, who had a problem with the name of Muhammad. You know, Yazid, in that incident where he was in the presence of Lady Zainab salamullahi alayha, what did he say? When he was seeing the head of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, and he was striking it, you know, with a stick, what did he say? He revealed the true intentions of the Bani Umayyah. لَيْتَ أَشْيَاخِي بِبَدْرٍ شَهِدُوا جَزَعَ الْخَزْرَجِ مِنْ وَقْعِ الْأَسَلِ. I wish my ancestors at Badr. Who are his ancestors at Badr? The Mushrikeen, the leaders of the pagans. Because at Badr, the Mushrikeen were defeated, the pagans, and the Muslims gained victory. So he's like, I wish my ancestors who got defeated at Badr, the battle of Badr during the Prophet's time, I wish they were here today to see how I took revenge from the family of the Prophet. This is a man who has respect for the Prophet, who says these lines. And then what does he say? لَعِبَتْ هَاشِمُ بِالْمُلْكِ فَلَا خَبَرٌ جَاءَ وَلَا وَحْيٌ نَزَلَ. Hashim is the grandfather of the Prophet. Bani Hashim is the family of the Prophet. It's like the family of the Prophet, they played around. They wanted kingdom and power. فَلَا خَبَرٌ جَاءَ وَلَا وَحْيٌ نَزَلَ. There was no revelation, it's all a game. Who's saying this? Yazid son of Muawiyah, who at the time, in the eyes of many simple Muslims, he was the Khalifa of the Prophet. So we see there was an active effort after the Prophet ﷺ to defame him. And when we examine the biography of the Prophet, we have to be aware of this tragic event that happened after the Prophet. Until today, in our Muslim books, from other schools of thought, we see traces of that defamation. Look at our hadith books from other schools of thought. Books like Bukhari even, yes, which is considered the most authentic source for other schools of thought. You'd be shocked at what you would find in some of these books of history, books of seerah, books of biography, books of hadith. You know, they start when the Prophet was young and they tell you the story how his heart was taken out by a devil. He was possessed. Sometimes he would have his wife Aisha ride on his back so she can go and see a game, a match. This is the greatest messenger of God. Imagine him coming out, carrying his wife, you know, on his back, carrying her like a baby, and she's watching a match. Who does this? These were efforts to defame the Prophet. You have hadiths, you know, in these hadith books that say the Prophet would stand in a public area and he would, God forbid, urinate. This is not the Prophet that we follow. But this is what Bani Umayyah did to defame the Prophet, that he was under a spell. There's a hadith in Bukhari that someone successfully put a spell on the Prophet, under the spell of the magic. And you have a number of such traditions. So we know that we have a problem when it comes to the history of the Prophet. We have some hadiths, you know, in these books that say the Prophet forgot some verses in Surah An-Najm and he added his own verse because the shaitan fooled him. Instead of thinking that this is Jibreel giving me the revelation, instead of knowing that shaitan, you know, was giving him the revelation, he thought it was Jibreel. And so he added a verse in the Quran. Then Jibreel came down, he